Good morning, this is Katie Thompson from Abilene, Texas.
And I'm Natalie Jones from St. David, Arizona.
And I'm Kayla Greenwood from sunny California, and welcome to China Talk. Today we are talking about if China will become the next superpower. To start off our discussion, Katie is going to talk about China's drive towards technological advancements.
A global technology innovation survey was performed in 2012, and 668 international businesses were surveyed from all over the globe. One of the key findings of the survey was that around 30% of respondents said China is likely to produce the most disruptive breakthroughs with a global impact. Meanwhile, 44% of respondents said that they expect the world's main technology innovation center to move from Silicon Valley in California to China. The findings are in line with current objectives outlined by the Chinese government, which is promoting numerous technology and innovation-led projects. The broader high-tech environment in China is emerging at speed and scale and is seen as one of the game-changing enablers for the country's economic transformation. The survey finds that China's innovation investment has fostered an environment for the development of disruptive technologies that is growing by leaps and bounds. When asked to consider what technology will have a major impact by 2015, 31% globally said cloud software as a service will enable the next indispensable consumer technology. 22% again claimed that the cloud infrastructure will drive enterprise business transformation. In fact, the Chinese government plans to invest $154 billion to boost their cloud industry over the next few years. This is likely to further encourage involvement from domestic players as well as an increase in foreign direct investments. But there is a lot more to this country than just their technology. We will now go to Natalie for her input about China's foreign relations.
China has monitored the value of the yuan so that it is worth less than an American dollar, and the U.S. buys more from China because it is cheaper. This makes China have a higher trade surplus, and they can then use extra money to buy U.S. securities. The United States has caught on, and they aren't happy about it. The U.S. Treasury Secretary says, "We believe it's in China's interest to allow the currency to appreciate more rapidly in response to market forces. And we believe China will do so because the alternative would be too costly, both for China and for China's relations with the rest of the world." This is just one example of the unstable relationships that China has with other countries. They also have a bad relationship with Japan. It was discovered in 1968 that oil reserves might be found under the sea near islands over which the control has been disputed by the People's Republic of China and Japan. The Chinese claim the discovery and control of the islands from the 14th century, while Japan controlled the islands from 1895 until the end of World War II. The two countries have been trying to end disputes over different oil fields in the East China Sea that they both have claimed, and the argument over these islands complicates things. North Korea tested their third nuclear weapon on February 12, 2013. China is one of the many countries reacting to North Korea's actions. A foreign policy commentator at a university in China warned that if North Korea does not change its ways by immediately promising not to conduct further nuclear tests and rocket launches, China will no longer assume the obligation of protecting North Korea. North Korea must then face a military strike from the U.S. alone. China has also threatened to cut off the $11 billion trade relation between the two countries. A Shanghai lawyer says every Chinese person with a conscience right now is asking the question, why do we support North Korea? China is too unstable in their external relationships with multiple countries to become a superpower. Now let's send it over to Kayla to see how China's doing within its country.
China seems to have far too many problems internally. First off, China seems to have a total disregard for the environment. They are the world's largest emitter of CO2 gases. In 2010, China emitted 8.2 billion tons of CO2 gas. This is greatly affecting the health of the people living in China. Water systems are being polluted as well. Take the people living along the Huai River basin, for example. Many of them have been diagnosed with cancer and other ailments due to the carelessness of industrial factories and pharmacies who dump their hazardous waste into the river. What does the government do about this? Nothing. China also seems to have a total lack of political accountability. The government takes little to no responsibility for their actions. The people of China are not stupid. Even with all the efforts put into blocking any type of media that shows the bad side or negative side of the government by the government, the people are becoming more and more aware of how they are being treated. Citizens are becoming increasingly assertive and demanding more rights and freedoms. A lot of citizens want to even leave China. China's wealthy, for example, use their fortunes a lot of the time to find route out of the country. I think it is safe to say that there is internal dissent and unhappiness. China will go to war with itself before turning itself loose on another country. They will be the cause of their own destruction, and they are the ones holding themselves back from being the next superpower. Even though China won't be a superpower anytime soon, we should still care about their growth because we depend heavily on our trade relationship with them and their technological advances. Well, that's it. Thanks for joining us on China Talk.